Canadian.
Oh my God! He found one testicle, guys. Cause for celebration. Hey guys, it's your girl Aisha, aka Geek XX Chic, and we're here with another reaction to Fallout. We're on season 2, episode 7, which is called The Handoff. So last episode, we got a lot more introspection from Coop. Basically, he was stuck on that pole for a good chunk of the episode, and it gave us a lot of flashbacks to the past, more understanding of what happened in Vegas after he went to see House, him and Barb having that fateful conversation about the truth, him knowing everything, and him also discovering that Barb was being effectively blackmailed into going along with the plan. And so we see that at that time, Coop kind of got a crazy idea that let's try to figure out who's at the top of this thing and see if we can stop it from that point. It was very naive of him to think that, but it looks like towards the end, Barb might have been someone on board with at least trying to see if they could figure out a way to stop all this from happening, or at the very least saving their family. And then on the other side of things, poor Lucy, she saw that her dad is creating this creepy mind-controlled army that he thinks is the future of the world. And he basically has told Lucy that he wants her to join him, or basically accept what he's doing, because what he's doing is for the betterment of humanity. So anyway, that's effectively what happened there. And then at the end, we see that Coop was ditched by the super mutant because he doesn't want to join the cause at the moment. But that ended up looping him back with Maximus and his squire. And now, of course, that very important cold fusion module. So yeah, we'll have to see. I'm pretty sure they're going to be heading back to Vegas for my girl Lucy. So ready to jump in? Let's do that. Just before I do though, please hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. And remember, you can always catch the uncut version of this reaction on my Patreon. All right, that out of the way, let's get into the episode right now. Who are y'all? When is this? World's looking mighty nice right now, so maybe in the past. Oh, damn. Run in a zigzag, for the love of God.
Back to the internment camp, hosers. Turn around and start walking, or I will shoot.
Hosers? Listen, Canadians don't use hosers anymore, guys. For God's sake. Hosers is from the 80s, man. I swear that and A is the only lingo Americans seem to know that Canadians have. You seem a bit too sound for a girl you can't trust there, Chet. But this past is kind of explaining why she was such a G about losing her eye, because I thought she took that rather well.
I know I raised you Catholic. You forget all that, okay? And you forget everything those people ever said.
You're coming with me.
It's too late.
She's making it, yeah.
And you keep your head above that water any way you can. And you get south of that border and you cling to the highest branch you can find, and you survive.
So many metaphors.
If you have to hurt people, God won't judge you.
Well, these are interesting final words. This girl said, forget the maple leaf. Give me that bald eagle. She's about to brush her gums. Yeah, bloody. I was about to say, you ripped the shit out of your gums, ma'am. Oh, really?
Them as Americans.
Wow. Listen, guys, I know that in light of everything right now, I might feel like that, but we think y'all are human. Don't worry. And what's crazy is that, you know, Hank and his psychosis is not recognizing that humans have a range of emotions for a reason. We're not supposed to always be happy or always sad or always angry. Like, all of those things in excess cause problems. I mean, happiness and joy, obviously, in extended periods is better than not, but this isn't even real.
What does it do to their brains?
Starting to ask real questions now.
Cleans the memory of the horrors.
Cleans the memory of everything. Who they are.
Turning these wastelanders into well-meaning, good people.
By your standards.
How do I do that?
Once the procedure's been finished, it's irreversible.
Probably not.
Well, we have to destroy the mainframe which programs the boxes, and that's in the basement.
How do I get there?
Wow.
Let's take the golf cart.
It's the way she just trusts he's going to not lie to her. Like he hasn't been lying to her his entire life. Or sorry, her entire life. But I feel like he was lying long before that. This should be a cute moment, but I dislike Hank so heavily that I can't enjoy it.
But you just use one foot for both pedals.
Unless you're driving a stick shift. It's a dying art, you know, manual transmissions. I'm glad I learned on one.
The mainframe is in there.
Jesus, Hank, you have taken so many people.
I just mopped.
Thank you.
Took him from Viking to Biff, from accounting.
We could stop them, Lucy.
Can we go back to the ghoul? I don't want to be annoyed at Lucy, and she's annoying me right now. And I'm not saying she's not, like, I'm glad she's thinking it through. It's understandable, but I'm like, her gut is already telling her this is all wrong.
So Lucy's in Las Vegas.
I can
Yes.
see why you two got along so well.
Right, both
Yeah,
slow
why
as
not?
hell.
You ask a lot of goddamn questions.
But you know what? They need to understand, ghoul.
How do you have that?
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay. Maybe before things escalate here.
Open your hand.
He don't miss nothing. And he saw it long before your grandfather was even born, actually.
She's a good person. She'll do the right thing with it.
She won't know what to do with it, but I get the sentiment. He's like simpleton. But that's why he trusts you. He knows that much like Lucy, you ain't gonna lie.
I've seen your face on those billboards for the vaults.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea how a gal on minimum wage can get into one?
Damn, she was everywhere.
But I think I have a better chance of getting in a vault.
And she
Do
did.
you know how I could get a job at Vault Tech?
Ask him.
It's true. He's a better way in. Wow. Okay, full circle. Now we know how she got in. She probably kept a secret that Hank lost the cold fusion, and that's why he got her in. Oh, this is the same bar. Okay, I get why I was so nostalgic for him last time.
Thank you for bailing me out of jail.
I know you're.
Sadly, he did it because he needs something from you, but
I saw you at that VA meeting last week. Why can't good people like you just learn to sell it better?
I don't think she's got a lot of passion in her, generally.
How much do you actually know about the company that put you on all those billboards?
He's like, oh, I'm learning a lot now.
I signed that contract.
Yeah,
So you know why your wife is in Las Vegas?
afraid so.
What if my wife's deal fell through? What would you do with infinite energy?
Give it away to the public.
We can't be trusted. Kidding.
The President of the United States is in Las Vegas. How would you feel about giving it directly to him?
You can get me a meeting with the president.
Do we trust the president? A lot of times they're just puppets for people behind the scenes.
We can put an end to 25 years of resource wars tonight.
Can we? It's one thing I've learned about humanity is you give someone a key to something super, super powerful, they often get real greedy.
I'm sure you probably know this, but I'm actually kind of new to all this ghoul stuff. Yeah. Still got my nose. That's the worst thing.
Showing off.
And there's this. This is normal, right?
No!
Anybody see a scope? Let me know. You know, I could really use a scope.
I don't understand. Why are you helping us with all this?
Is he helping you?
Ain't nothing in this world for free.
There we go.
Now you want what's in this room. You got to give me what's in your pocket.
It's for Lucy.
She want to give that thing to a good person so they can save the world.
No. So he's like, I went through this 200 years ago.
You're going to have to give it to a really bad person.
Are you really bad there, Coop?
In all my years, I've only ever seen one man come out on top in Vegas.
He's a statue?
And what's that exactly?
Oh, another one. So much that Coop could impart to him, but because he doesn't want to talk about who he was in the past. You know what I mean? Like now that we know that he wore one of these suits, I mean, it was a very old version, but still, could probably actually help Maximus out a lot.
You always end up back where you started. Huh.
Sorry, kiddo. Coop's been doing this for 200 years.
Wait, I'm actually pretty sure that the Vault-Tec handbook says that impersonating management is punishable by...
Then why didn't you just kill him?
This can't be good for your brain.
Sorry. It was a risk you took. Releasing them all, Normie. I just don't understand why she's marrying Chet, though. You know, in the grand scheme of things, this is not at all useful. Although she could genuinely be lonely.
I'm so excited.
Sure.
Why?
Chet, I'm working.
Bro, can you have at least one ball drop, man? Or is he gonna do it on purpose? Oh, okay. Where's that black dude? She killed him. Damn.
Seems like so many people missed my big public announcement. Woody's been sent on a leadership exchange program involved.
Forever? You better hide those if you don't plan on doing anything, bro. You're actually useless, Chet. I mean, I know there's nothing that can be done about Woody at this point, but...
Showers are outlawed.
Ew!
And so is flushing the toilet.
Oh, God, it's gonna get disgusting up in there. Good luck. People are gonna be dying of dysentery in about a week.
Henry, you and your secrets.
Y'all messy. Why do you even care if someone sees you, girl? You're just gonna kill them anyway.
But I sometimes forget how much I learned in the time you were still under. You gave your word.
She didn't. She said she'd think about it. You didn't listen to her.
Whatever you're up to, I want no part of it.
I don't think she planned on including you.
I can't speak for the future. That's bigger than us.
Yeah, it's interesting your name's Betty, because that's a bitter Betty right there. Her mama died over 200 years ago. She's still holding on to that shit like it happened yesterday. Don't get me wrong. If my mama was murdered in front of me, I probably would hold a 200-year grudge as well. But just saying. She don't give a damn about her baby. Nothing. Dog me. Excuse me, unwashed people. I have somewhere to go. What? Although they did say that a bunch of them fell into like a pit or something. Damn, y'all are royalty out here, even though you're not part of the... Oh, actually, he's from NCR. That's actually the funny part, now that I think about it. Max was originally from it. Oh, it's gone. It's probably whatever the hell's gnawing at your chest.
Right?
Maybe you should hang back this time, Zaddy.
You sure?
Your arm fell
Yeah, we can't have you falling apart, quite literally.
Situated.
Goop's like, I ain't got time for this shit. Yeah, I think Coop must have gotten some kind of like super original recipe serum, because considering all he's really lost is his nose, or maybe the uranium would actually help this guy too, right? Maybe. Hank was talking to someone or trying to talk to someone on the radio when he first got here.
It's like home.
Always your favorite. Norm, not so much.
Yeah, remember Norm? He's about to get killed.
Do you remember me?
Yes. This morning.
No, from the hill where we first met.
Where you tried to assault me.
You lived there for 25 years.
Lucy?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the new California Republic?
See what happens if they try to remember. Mm-hmm. Get it now, Lucy?
We're fine here, thank you. Thank you.
They're not who they are. They're not anyone. They're literally nobodies. Walking, talking robots. Flesh bots. Wait, why does that sound like a sex toy?
One side is murdering people, enslaving them, crucifying them, and the other side is vaguely problematic.
Shutting down the mainframe.
Lucy, do not! Lucy!
Thank goodness.
We have to get out of here.
I have to do something first.
Okay, well, whatever it is, be quick, because they're about to literally give you brain damage next time.
Lucy, if you're out there.
Radio.
I'm on the surface. I need your help.
The one time she ain't there. I don't even think she knows the radios are there. Oh my God, Lucy! Okay, but you know what? At least the driving seems more accurate now.
Why didn't you tell me?
Can you write this in your diary and tell him later? Let's go! Yeah, there we go. You waited that freaking long. You deserve to get bashed in the head again, Norm. This girl tried to save your ass. You're like, no, wait. Let me just do my entire diary and final eulogy right now on this.
I do.
And you, Vault Dweller, checked.
Just say you I do and be done, please, sir. You gonna grow up hair? Probably not.
I don't.
Oh my God! He found one testicle, guys. Cause for celebration.
I don't think that Woody is in Vault 31. I think that Steph hurt him. I found his glasses in our garbage disposal.
Good for you, chat.
Serious accusation.
Yeah, that's why I did it in front of people who will hopefully see me if I go missing.
Steph was not born in Vault 31.
She's Canadian!
200 years old. She's Canadian!
I love it! We're really nice, guys. We don't actually go around murking people and disposing their glasses. Not in the wedding dress. This is kind of reminiscent of season 1 with Lucy. Really? You think chanting is gonna make her do anything? Okay. You pushed a little too hard, Steph. You pushed a little too hard. A little too much. Good for you, though, Chet. At the very least, you shouldn't have married that woman. I know you don't like her. What you eating there? Oh, another death claw. Cannibalism sounds great. Do we have one?
I want you to get between me and anything that looks like that.
Makes sense. You got the suit. You got this, Maximus. You went up against an irradiated bear. This can't be that much harder, right? We're having a standoff right now? Do death claws have balls? Maybe aim for those. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, PTSD coming in here. Eyes. Go for his eyes. Not bad. Not bad. You owe him now, Coop. Less attitude. Thank you. Eat that one. I just killed him. Okay, Max feeling himself now. He said, let me take them all on. Sure. Woo! He wasn't ready for that nasty tail swipe. Oh, Shiza. Now the death claws are everybody's problem. Y'all, do you not see that the door is open? Homie's like, what's up? Oopsies.
The only way to save our family is to save the world. That's simple.
That's simple.
Well, they were back on the same page, at least for a while. All right, I think I said this in another video, but I'm starting to have a new theory. I thought they were divorced, but maybe that was just what they had to do to go with this plan that they were trying to execute, especially since people like House didn't trust him and knew that he was working with Moldova. The way that Coop's taking his time in this office while my guy's out there fighting death claws. Like the parallels of both of them accessing things that they probably shouldn't. That for the room? I love that they show that Coop is very observant. He doesn't seem the type, but considering I'm thinking he didn't go back to House's little inner sanctum again from that first time, he remembered exactly how to get back into that room and probably remember what was in it too.
Mr. President, thank you for doing the right thing, son.
Hello? Sorry, it's just kind of trippy seeing him. I just played, not that long ago, I was playing Detroit Become Human. Very different role. I feel like the president's paid off already. He took that a little too easily. Now what? Who is this? Oh, it's her! I knew that there was something that was coming up with her because we kept seeing her. So she became the immortal. Why would they use her? Was she the basis that they used for the good behavior? Is that what it is? What's boiling in the back there? Oh, it's part of the computer. Okay. Keep forgetting that back in the day, computers used to take up whole rooms. Hilarious if House actually expected him to be the one. I actually would not put it past him to have expected that it would in fact be Coop that would come back here and boot that system up, if nothing else. We saw in that episode that he's like, I think you're the wild card here, Coop. And maybe he was right. All right. And we also know that House is still alive, right? Or at least we think he is, because that robot from 2 episodes back that Coop interacted with said that House hadn't been back to that office in a while. And I mean, a while, the way he said it, I think he meant like a few years, right? Not 200 years. So lots to chew on, guys. Lots to chew on. But yeah, that was episode 7. Really good episode. Like they're like there's so many storylines happening right now. But I think one thing this season has done really well is melding all of them with the flashbacks that are kind of necessary to tell the story that's going on currently. And they did it in the first season, but I feel like we didn't have as many flashbacks last season, but we have a lot this season, and it's really helping to fill out the stories of what we're seeing now. So, oh gosh, where do we start? We'll start with the smallest part of the episode. Norm, not a lot there with him. He's not dead. I knew he wasn't. Very interesting though. Like I thought Homie would just do it, but now the fact that they're all contemplating it, I guess he didn't want to, I'm assuming the curly haired dude, the reason he didn't kill Norm is because he didn't want them to think that he was a murderer, right? If they come back and Norm's just dead, you know what I mean? It's going to have a lot of questions and suspicion as to what happened. So basically he's convincing the group of why he has to do this, right? And of course, everyone's a follower except for that one girl who from the get-go was questioning everything. And yeah, we see that they basically think, well, okay, they're listening to him, of course, you know, because dude is being very pushy. And of course, he's framing Norm as a spy. And listen, it's not looking for good for Norm either. He really shouldn't have woken them all up, to be fair. But still, the fact that they're all okay with the potential of just killing this man they don't know is kind of weird. Anyway, we see that Norm almost gets out. The girl comes back when I guess everybody was distracted, and she tries to let him go, but Norm is like, no, I gotta try to at least warn my vault or warn somebody out there that these guys are out and that there's the forced evolution virus situation. But we see that he actually calls back to, well, I guess he probably just went on a broadcast channel. It's probably going to all the vaults is my guess. And anyways, we see that he does a call for his father, or to Lucy, right? He's like, if you're out there, Lucy, I need help. And then he also is saying like, what's gonna happen to the vault, right? So does he know? That's right. I don't think he knows whether or not, yeah, he knows his dad might still be alive, right? Because yeah, Moldova just took Hank back in season 1. So he has no idea whether or not his dad is alive or dead, but I think he assumes he's alive. But either way, that's pretty much all that happens. And we see that the group comes back while he's doing the broadcast, and the looks they have on their faces say to me that something about what Norm said, I think might have them asking more questions. That's all really Norm has to do. Start asking some real challenging questions that Curly Top can't answer. And then all he needs is a little chaos in the group, honestly, to stop the unanimous decision to kill him. And that'll buy him enough time, at the very least, at least get back downstairs, because I think the old ladies will definitely not just step back and allow them to take out Norm, right? But anyway, that was Norm. Very short and sweet, but I'm pretty sure something's going to come of him being out. Like, he's had very little in this season, actually. I mean, he wasn't a big part of last season either, but I can't think that they keep breadcrumbing us his story for no reason. Where he is, you know, and with these people, I'm sure is going to factor in somehow before the finale, or in the, wait, is the finale next week? I can't remember if it's 8 episodes. Let me just take a look. What do we have last season? Yeah, we had 8 episodes last season. I think the season finale is next week. So yeah, we'll see how it factors in the season finale. That was Norm. And then we'll go to Lucy, because I'd say that she was kind of the second smaller part of the episode. Actually, everyone was kind of equal. Norm was probably the smallest part. But anyway, Lucy is, you know, again, she's just trying to take everything in. And like I said in the episode, I was getting a little annoyed because while I never thought that Lucy was going to 100% go with with it, guys. I never did think she was just going to lay back and let it all happen. I know that there's a part of her that still really would love everything to go back to the way it was, like, especially because of what she's been through on the surface, right? Like I said it in the last episode, that slight smile she gave when she saw her dad, like the nostalgia of being in a vault, being in a familiar environment, going back to a feeling of where she felt safe and that the world made sense. There is a intrinsic subconscious appeal to all of it. And of course, she wants to believe that her dad isn't a terrible person, right? Which is very, very, that's understandable. None of us would want to ever believe that our parent is capable of doing horrible things to lots of people, right? So I think, a lot of this episode was Lucy trying to understand her dad's logic. Like, why, like, what is your thinking? Like, why are you doing this really? Like, why do you believe this is the only answer? And then, of course, understanding too what this mind control device does exactly, right? Because listen, as much as I'm like vehemently against it, I understand that in a world like what they've portrayed here and what Lucy's experience compared to what she's been taught is the way the world should be, which again, I think she's still very much developing a new worldview. But, what she was raised with versus what she's seen, how depraved and hard and terrible the surface can be, seeing this seemingly non-violent solution, right? Okay, just stick this thing on the back of their necks. All that aggression is gone. All the fighting is gone. They can do productive things. No more war, no more petty fights. It seems like a perfect solution. It would be crazy for her not to somewhat think, well, maybe this isn't such a bad thing. And she even phrased it well. Like, she's like, yeah, the depravity and the war and all the horrible things on the outside versus something that's kind of morally gray, right? Yeah, seems like it's an easy decision. But thankfully, Lucy, started to ask more about what the device does. She's like, what exactly is happening? Like, what is this thing really doing? And of course, her dad says that the dial actually is supposed to affect the level of amnesia that they experience. And right, we saw that back with the chicken defiler. He was like, would you like to forget everything that's ever happened to you before now? And in that guy's case, he actually willingly wanted to. He's like, hell yes. And I said back in that episode, understandable. Like, I don't think you become a chicken defiler naturally. I feel like a lot of stuff probably twisted him to that point. Not that I'm saying, like, maybe he really was always going to be crazy, but you get my point. Like, I think for a lot of people on the surface, it's been such a rough, horrible, depraved life that, they've just, it's driven them to decisions that they may not have made if the world was not so crazy. So anyways, the point is, I don't think a lot of the other people that he brought in were given that same question, right? I don't think they were given a choice, right? I think we can pretty much assume that Hank probably either did what he did to that one guy where he knocked him out and dragged them there against his will, or he lured them with something else, like probably food or water or promise of safety, and then stuck that thing on their neck before they even knew what they were doing, right? The point is, he wanted people. He was going to keep going at this until he perfected it to the point that he was used to. So all that to say, I don't think outside of people who've had absolutely horrific lives, most of us would never want to have all of our memories erased, right? And that's what like Lucy started to recognize when she asked the guy that she'd seen before from the very first time she met him in season 1. And she was like, do you remember? Do you remember meeting me? Do you remember where you used to live? Do you remember the last 25 years of your life? And he just, of course, there's nothing there. And of course, her dad quickly shooed him away because then he realized where her conclusions were going to take her, which is that you're not just taking their memories, you're taking who they are, right? Because our memories, our experiences shape who we actually are. None of these people are actually who they are. They're not people anymore. They're not individuals anymore. They're just mindless drones that we now know are all based on one woman, which I'll get back to her in a minute. But they're literally just all walking, talking robots, right? They're just robots in flesh. You've taken away everything that makes them who they are in place of one monotone, flavorless, completely devoid of any type of uniqueness, just persona. That's what everybody is. And that's just not at all, that's not humanity. It's not an experience. They're, as I said in the episode, like one emotion at all times, one flat, somewhat happy emotion at all times, fake smile plastered on their face. That is not a human experience. That's not what we're built for. Humans have a gambit of emotions for a reason. It's part of our experience. It's part of what gives us the tapestry of our lives. Without that, as I said, we may as well just be software. There's no reason for us to exist. So I love that, Lucy recognized that, right? Lucy, I don't think, as much as she would love peace, she don't want a whole world of Mary Sues. That's no fun for anybody. And what's worse is that these people are not conscious, not really. Like, yes, they're alive, they're blinking, drinking. They're, they still feel things like hunger and thirst and all those things, but they're not experiencing life. Like, my guess is everything's gone. The desire to do anything. They probably have no desire to marry or have kids or nurture kids or experience relationships. It's all just this fake, endless loop of blah that they're trapped in. And that's just horrible. Right. And the problem, and I wouldn't be surprised that after an extended time of being like that, they probably would start to their brains would probably start to melt down. I would have no doubt, because like, what is going on? My guess is that thing has got to keep rewriting their brains on a regular basis. And how long could you do that before their brains would be mush? You feel me? So anyway, all that to say that, Hank is absolutely going ham right now because he thinks he basically, this is my interpretation, by the way, is that I think that the colossal failure that happened as far as he did not anticipate Moldova coming back. He did not anticipate Lucy finding out the truth. He did not anticipate the fact that he wouldn't be able to go back to his vault or his family. He wants to feel like he's got to win. Right? And if you look back at the flashback, right, for him losing the cold fusion nodule to having to let someone get into the vault to now having all this happen, having to take out his wife and a whole community of people to now losing his immediate family, like Hank has had a lot of L's in his mindset. So I feel like this is why he's so passionate about making sure that this mind control thing works, right? He needs to feel like he's got a W in all of this, right? So anyway, because I think, again, if he just took time to really think through what he's doing right now, it's not at all a plausible solution. Even if he somehow managed to make enough of those devices to put on the millions of people on the surface, it's not a plausible. Who's going to control those damn dials? Who's going to push the damn button? You know what I'm saying? Who gets to do that? You think you're going to be able to walk into the Enclave or in the other military groups, the Brotherhoods, and be able to put this on everybody without them blowing everybody up? Like, it's not a long-term solution. It's literally just Hank finding something to do to make himself feel useful at the moment. But anyway, coming back to Lucy, just glad that she took the time to understand as much as she could. And again, I think a part of her was really hoping that her talking through it and her also kind of pointing out the very wrong things with all of this would get her father to start thinking, hey, maybe what I'm doing is kind of messed up. Maybe I see where Lucy's coming from and maybe I should be thinking about this. But unfortunately, her dad is fully corrupt and there was just no seeing that for him. So I think that's why she, in the end, realized, okay, I guess I'm going to have to change into this damn oven and take care of this myself, right? So, I did scold her in the episode for asking her dad the questions, but good on her. She actually used the fact that her dad thought that she was that naive to get him to be very honest with her. Again, I don't know if he gave her 100% the truth. I'm never going to trust Hank to be completely honest. But again, I think he thought, well, I'll give her honesty because she's gullible and she's going to think that means that I trust her. And, in the end, it kind of worked, right? Like he did tell her where she needed to go for the mainframe. But anyway, glad that Lucy in the end recognized that while this is a tempting solution in some ways, it was not the answer. So yeah, seeing what the actual mainframe is crazy. And is she going to have the heart to pull the plug? But I feel like she should, because my God, that is torture. That's like a lot. That's like hundreds of years of slavery for that poor woman. But how did she get in there? How did she get in there? Right? Didn't I say the president was compromised? But coming back to that. So that was Lucy. That's how we ended with her, is her basically having to figure out what to do with the mainframe. And then we had, well, yeah, let's talk about Steph. We got some backstory on Steph, right? We found out a couple episodes. She's Canadian, eh? And we have no idea why she's in the vault, how she got in there. Thank you for the people in the comments who let me know that the reason why her being Canadian was so crazy is because she's not supposed to have ID from the old world. And also most of the Vault-Tec people who were frozen were American. So that means she got into the vaults by herself and that she's 200 years old, whereas not all, I think most of the people in the vault are, but yeah, the point is the shock for Chet is that he didn't realize, he thought she was everyone believes that Vault 31 is just a regular vault like everything else. They don't realize it's an overseer vault. So anyway, we got the flashback as to how this all kind of occurred for her. And we see that she was in Uranium City, which for the record, I don't believe we have that in Canada. I mean, I've lived here my whole life, but maybe I missed that. Let me just make sure I'm not being stupid. Hold on. Is there a Uranium City in Canada? Oh, it's a settlement in northern Saskatchewan. I didn't know that, girl. I don't live in Saskatchewan. Look at me. Established in 1952. Huh. Okay. The mines closed in 1982. Look at that, guys. Little Canadian history for y'all. I didn't even know all that. I don't even know, but it's in North Saskatchewan. I ain't never been north of Saskatchewan. I've only ever been to one city, but that's not the point here. So anyway, yeah, they were in Uranium City, and it looks like something crazy was going down there. They looked like they were escaping. Now, what they were escaping and why, we don't have any answers to that. Like, why were they being shot at? I mean, if it is just a mining town, again, who knows in the Fallout world what it was, but they seem to be escaping from something. We did see, oh, I might have to go back and look and see if there was a logo on the suit of the person, the guy who called them hosers. Guys, we really don't use hosers. Maybe back, I think the last time anyone was using the term hosers in Canada was probably circa the 80s. But anyway, I'll have to see if there's anything on their suits. But we know for a fact that the suits came from House. So maybe House owned one of the uranium mines. I'm not sure. But either way, Steph ran away with her mother, it looks like. And unfortunately, they didn't both make it. Her mom ended up getting fatally shot. And her mom basically said to her that something is coming, right? So I think they must have found out about maybe, again, I'm getting the sense they found out about the fact that Vault-Tec was up to something. And maybe that's why they ran away. But either way, she's like, you need to get yourself to safety. She's like, it's not safe here. She used a lot of biblical metaphors about the flood. And she effectively told her daughter to go find her ark. She's like, you can't stay here. You need to head south, somewhere warm, which I'm not sure why the warmth, unless that was just because they were in the cold at the moment. But she said, girl, you need to go find your ark, latch on to the Americans. She's the phrase of don't think of them as human, think of them as Americans is crazy. But anyway, I think she basically was like, listen, you're going to have to do some crazy things to survive. You need to figure out what you need to do to survive, to stop from, or sort of protect yourself from what's coming. Do whatever you have to do and don't worry about conscience. Right? So she was basically left on her own. I guess her mom was pretty much the only family that she had. And we see that, you know, at that point, she kind of flipped a switch in her head and kind of became the Stephanie that we know now. And we see that she hustled her way all the way to Vegas, which give her kudos. She managed, we still don't know how, but she managed to get enough intel to figure out how to get all the way to where Robert House is. I mean, I don't think she knew about House, but maybe she did, again, because of the Uranium City. But anyway, she managed to find the right people and inevitably ended up in the very room where Coop and his wife were getting rid of Hank and the evidence of what they did to him. And my guess is that Stephanie did whatever she had to, use whatever means necessary to strong arm Hank into getting her into that vault. So Hank is the one who got her in, and that's why she knew about the box. So that kind of ties all that together. What she had to do and what she said to him to get him to do it, that is another question. But my guess is whatever is in that box, Hank must have, my guess is Hank must have taken something of importance to her, maybe. Because I'm thinking Hank wouldn't have just gone by whatever threat, and I'm assuming it's a threat, by the way. She probably blackmailed him to get in, but my guess is Hank wouldn't have risked letting her get into the overseer vault without some form of insurance that she wouldn't either do something stupid or expose the program. So I bet you there's something super valuable of hers that he had to give to her as a guarantee that she behave. And that's probably what is in the box. That's what I'm assuming at this point. So anyway, now we know that this is why Steph acts so weird. Like even last season, I noticed that she seemed abnormally detached. I just assumed that maybe it might have been like some weird, ripple effect of being in the vaults. But now we know it's because, yeah, she knows what the world was like before. She knows what she had to do to get in here. And yeah, as some people in my comments said, she probably low-key has a lot of vim for the Vault-Tec people because, of course, they weren't planning on saving everybody, just the people that they decided were the chosen ones. So anyway, explains a lot. Still doesn't explain though why she wanted to marry Chet. Like I understand the other marriage was kind of her playing along, but why does she want to marry Chet? Why was that so important to her to do that? Was it just for the baby? Does she care about the baby? Because from what I've seen, she really doesn't like that kid, which is interesting considering that now that we know she has no family outside of this, like this is literally her only family and she seems to have zero affection for that kid. But anyway, we see that Chet, my guy, he grew a pair. Maybe let me not say a pair here. He had one ball dropped. I'm going to say one because he almost backed out. But I will give him props though, because he is smart enough not to confront Stephanie on her own. He's starting to do a little premeditation now. But yes, now that he realized that Woody really is in fact missing, you can see last episode he was concerned, but he kind of just wrote it off. But then when he found the glasses, it's like, oh, and he of course knew that Woody was asking a lot of questions. He saw Woody challenge Stephanie directly about her vault breaking protocols. So thankfully, I know he doesn't necessarily think, or he doesn't really have the whole picture in mind, but between finding the ID and then Woody disappearing and everything, and then being pushed into this marriage he doesn't want, and Stephanie just kind of getting like like if you look from like last season to now, she's become a lot colder and much more, I guess you could say, mean to Chet. So all these things combined, thankfully, were enough for Chet to plan, very strategically plan when to expose what Stephanie was up to and basically make sure that the vault would know if she tried anything crazy and he disappeared all of a sudden. So yeah, thankfully, you know, the only thing that really gave, if he didn't have that ID on him, that he would have gotten in so much trouble because they didn't believe him about the glasses, but at least he had the ID. So yeah, we see that Steph, I think, you know, her breakdown and running away was kind of an interesting response. I wasn't sure what she was going to do. Like part of me thought she was just going to be like kind of get into military mode and basically threaten everybody, because let's face it, most of those people would not know what to do in the face of someone who actually meant business. But she ended up crying and running away. And so I think there is something emotional happening. Maybe it is that she cares about her child. Maybe it is that she actually cares about Chet and that she's upset about the fact that she's feeling these things because she's trying to be robotic about it all. But I still don't even know what her overall plan is either. Like, does she have a plan? Like, yeah, there's still a lot about Steph that's a question mark, but that was an interesting response to being exposed anyways. Like, she feels like, it looks like she's almost overwhelmed, which again, I don't feel like she's really been planning anything since everything went down with her having to go to 32 and everything. But yeah, interesting response. And also the fact that, you know, we saw that Betty kind of called her out, like, for knowing that, like, I know you're shady, girl. I've known that since you got here. And Betty also saying that there's multiple spies in, because, right, I don't think it was just Woody. Like, I think there's multiple people in there that are watching Steph. So I think that Steph is just starting to realize that as much as she pre-plans and does things, you know, there's a lot she doesn't know, right? And I love that Betty kind of warned her that, like, I learned a lot. Like, you were under a while, and I learned a lot of things while you were out. So well, let me see what's up. But yes, segue to Betty, actually. Nice segue to Betty. Not much there outside of the fact that the vault is getting to the point where they can't shower or use the toilet. So like I said in the episode, they got to figure it out very quickly. Otherwise, people are going to get sick, right? That's going to become a hygiene issue. People need to get rid of their waste. At the very least, the waste has to be brought away from the vault because they're in a confined space. Like that's going to cause illness immediately. And obviously hygiene. People have to be clean. Otherwise, other health issues will occur as well. So yeah, that's why she gave in and gave Hank's box. But it looks like Betty is also aware of the fact that Hank was up to a lot of things he probably shouldn't have been either. So I'd love to get a little bit more on Betty too at some point. I hope we get that. I don't think we're gonna have time for it this season, but yeah, she seems like she's got some knowledge about what's going down as well. So yeah, that's kind of the vault situation. Loved having that background on Stephanie though, and more about why she acts the way she does. But like I said, I really want to know what her motivation is because I still don't know what her plan is now, or if she has one at all, because it seems like she's kind of making a mess that she doesn't need to. This could have all been avoided if she just continued to play along, if that makes sense. So anyway, that's the vault. And then finally we had Coop and Maximus and then the Squire, we're gonna call him that. And hilariously, the Squire is really trying hard to like bond with Coop, and Coop is not having it. Like, again, yeah, Coop does not feel anything for anybody that's not his family and Lucy, to be fair. But anyway, you know, he don't bond with ghouls. He's come across a few, I'm sure thousands of them in his time now. And homie's just trying to, he's trying to work up to ask him like about what to expect. And, you know, I can only imagine the questions you would have as a new ghoul as to what you have to expect going forward, especially from someone who's as old as Coop. But Coop wasn't having it. He was just basically like, bro, we're not the same. We're not on the same level. And as I said in the episode, it does seem like whatever he was given to make him what he is now, it's a different level, because considering that it took again, we don't know when his nose fell off, but considering that all he's really lost that we can see is his nose. I mean, there might be other parts, other appendages, but he has his fingers, he has his toes to our knowledge, literally his nose is all and his hair and his nose. And obviously you can see most of his body fat is gone too. But you get my point. Like, the decomposition is hella slow. And then we look at Homie here. He's only been a ghoul for, I think, will be effectively a few months, and maybe a few months. I don't even know. The timing of the show is a bit hard, but I feel like at most it's a few months. And he's already lost the whole damn arm. And what is biting on his shoulder? Can y'all tell me what that's about? Because I'm pretty sure nothing is actively trying to eat something on Coop's body that we've seen. What's going on there? But anyway, so yeah, it's just very interesting that like this is a new, maybe it is, it's got to be the quality of the serum, because I keep forgetting that the chicken defiler is the one who gave him the serum. So maybe what he's got is like super diluted. I don't know. But yeah, the decomposition is very, very vastly different. Like Homie lost the whole arm, right? Like just dropped off with all kinds of impunity. So anyway, we see outside of that Coop immediately noticed that Max had the diode, and basically we got some background background on the diode as far as what Hank decided to do with it. We see that he talked to that one lady. Like I said, we kept seeing her. Every time I saw her in the recap, I was like, why are we seeing this one monotone lady who gave an award? Like, why does she keep coming up? Like, she seems like such a background character for us to see in 3 episodes now. And now, you know, towards the end, we saw why. But anyways, we see that Coop was like, okay, like, since you are a government person, maybe you can tell me where I can take this thing, because it's very important, but I feel like we don't know who we can give it to make sure it doesn't fall into the wrong hands. And so she basically is like, I'm going to meet the president, or I can at least get you a meeting with the president. Why don't you bring it to him? Like, if you trust me, I trust him. So let's do that. And we see that Coop decides, okay, well, I guess at that point, he must have believed that the president was a good guy, or at least at the very least trusted this lady. But like I said, the readiness with which that he grabbed that diode, like the second, like Coop barely lifted it, this president, I mean, he grabbed it like that, so he already knows what that was. I knew immediately in the way that he grabbed it. It's like he knew exactly what it was. He's been compromised. And again, like I said, we saw at the end of the episode, how did it end up in Vault-Tec? How did her head end up in Vault-Tec, right? Unless there was a connection there. So yeah, unfortunately, Coop did and his wife did what they thought they needed to at that time. And again, we see that him and his wife kind of came back to the same page, at least in Vegas, of at least attempting to save the world versus doing things Vault-Tec's way. But as I said, there's still a disconnect as to why they ended up still getting divorced and separated at the end. But again, now that I'm looking at it, it just doesn't make sense that Coop would have his daughter when they got divorced. Just because out of the two of them, you know, it goes typically back in those days, the kid always went with the mom. So all that to say is I'm starting to think that the divorce was a front to keep Coop safe. And Barb just considered, you know, just decided to stay in the belly of the beast, so to speak, to make sure that she could keep an eye on things and make sure that her family was safe. I feel like that might have been what the actual dynamic was in the end. But anyway, that's what we kind of found out through the flashbacks. And then we see that Coop, because he's back in Vegas, wanted to get his hands on the diode because he needed it to go and power the machine that he'd seen at House's place all those years ago. So yeah, but that kind of ended in a nice, cool fight between Maximus versus Deathclaw. He actually took down at least one. So we'll see whether or not he's able to stave them off while God knows what Hank is doing, or sorry, what Coop is doing down in House's little place. But it looks like House was in fact waiting for him, or knew that he would be the one to find him. So I am interested to see exactly what Coop is planning to do. My guess is it's to get into the vault somehow, but how he's going to do that from this place, that is the question for me. But yeah, that's pretty much it, really. It was just kind of that flashback, again, giving us a little bit more context as to what led Coop back to this particular space and why he's coming back here. So yeah, I think the reunion is imminent. Next episode, it's kind of got to be, I think, with Lucy figuring out how to shut down the mainframe, and God knows what kind of impact that's going to have. I mean, Hank said that the procedure is irreversible, but what happens if you just shut down the machine powering it? That's what I want to know. I feel like it's not actually irreversible. I do feel like it's going to do irreversible damage, though, and what that's going to mean for those people, I shudder to think. But yeah, we're going to find out hopefully next episode. So yeah, another great episode. Great storytelling as usual. Loved it. Hope you guys enjoyed watching along with me. If you did, please show some love, and I'll see you in the next one.